town you never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
Welcome back to Common Folk.
Either my hearing got better over Christmas or this is very loud in my ears. Can you turn me down?
Let me see here.
Go.
Yeah, usually your hearing doesn't get better. But I don't know, maybe it does.
No?
Your setting, is it the same as everybody else's? I mean, I can turn it down if you want it.
Yeah. I don't
Hello. Check. Is that good?
Hello. No. Up.
Oh, wait. No, that was your mic. Sorry. Wrong one.
So
Hold on. Let me switch it. Here we go. Ready? How about now? Is this getting better?
Hello.
Can
Okay,
you-
that's better.
All right. Now
Yeah.
you're turned down.
now
Okay.
you're good? So
Gal.
I got a solution for you.
What is it?
I have a lot of ideas, and most of them are bad, like really bad ideas.
Okay.
let's-
So is this a bad one?
Probably.
Okay.
I'll throw this at you guys, and you can tell me how stupid it is and how, like, why would you even bring that up? So a common practice in the world of sports broadcasting and a lot of different live event broadcasting, you have your headphones on like you have yours on right now,
Okay.
but you're talking about hearing things, right? It's important when you're at a live game to hear the crowd, hear the officials. You know, if you hear something on the sideline, you can, bring it up during the broadcast.
Sure.
So a lot of them have one on their head, one ear covered up and the other one open like this. So you have one on and one open. So this ear is free to hear what's going on. And like everyone, and if you get to looking at it, you see it so often. So I was like, why don't they make a headset
Which is one.
with just one that gives you the dual in the one ear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then leaves this ear open. Maybe that's what you want for the podcast, so you can hear what's going on in the room, in the studio, and then also
Maybe.
get the
I feel
back
like it's
feed.
kind of low now.
See,
Of course.
you turned it down.
You know what that makes me think of? And you'd be familiar with this, the shooting headphones that
yeah.
have mics on them.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like they're amplifying,
the
sounds around you.
the surround sound. Yeah.
But they're deadening like loud hits. Mm-hmm. So what if broadcasters had headphones
Yeah.
that had microphones on them, but they were programmed to
Pick up-
shut the mic off
Okay.
when there's sound in the headphones. So like when
Yeah.
you as broadcasters are
Right.
talking to each other, but when you're not talking to each other, they're picking up the outside
Oh,
sound.
that's so complicated.
Yeah, you're picking up the surround sound, the crowd noise, the coaches yelling at the refs, all that good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about those headphones, and I've used them, when we're out hunting or whatever, we're sitting
are
in
they
the
kind
deer
of
blinds.
weird?
Well, you can turn them up so loud that like I can literally hear like
Whispers.
specific details of like a squirrel running through the leaves.
Wow.
Because it picks all that up
Yeah.
so much.
Do you guys use Apple phones?
Yeah.
iPhones. A couple Christmases ago, I got a real nice set of those Apple Pods or whatever they are, and those are eerie how they pick up surround sound. So if you're listening to a podcast or music, that's all good. But then if you're jogging and a car comes up behind you, you hear the. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? It's really eerie. It's kind of
Really?
weird. Yeah.
Because they amplify the sound too.
Yeah, they just kind of automatically do that. I bet I could reset it, but I think it's kind of a safety issue.
Okay.
So I don't know.
We
Yeah.
got it's obviously still holiday time. We got it'd be similar to like the Apple, what do they call them?
AirPods.
AirPods, okay.
But it's it's like a little earbud thing that you put in that goes inside. It doesn't have the little hangy down Apple thing that looks like something about Mary.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
The
Yes.
shoot that happens up on his ear.
The shoot.
Shoot.
So they actually go in your ear, but they have like they're designed like those headphones are, where they pick up outside noise. You've got three different levels of sound that you can listen to and amplify noise. But then when they have a hard like if you clap, they'll shut the sound down.
Yeah, it'll deaden that. Yeah.
So
So-
you got that, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I got a pair and got my son a pair for shooting. So we'll see how those work. We haven't tried them yet.
Nice.
Made
Yeah.
by Axel is the company. You've probably seen them on. They do a lot of advertisements online.
Well, they're not cheap.
They're
right?
yeah,
they're pretty.
They did
nice.
a really cool holiday sale. It was like buy one get one half off or
Oh,
whatever.
there you
so,
go.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, very good. Very good.
but
Well,
yeah.
that's something though that you guys could use and will use a lot.
Oh, for
So
sure.
it's totally
Yeah.
worth it. You know.
I hope he likes them though. He keeps being like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to use those," and we're like, "Well."
You're using them.
his deal is like
He gets set
he's
on
kind of like one of those like superstitious sports, like athletes,
you're disrupting his normal routine
Yes.
and his
Yeah.
gear. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So
like
he likes
you've
what
got
he-
specific things that you use. Those work. Like I've done a good job with this. I shouldn't change it because it might screw me up, and
Right.
I might not do
Okay.
a good job because whatever.
because
blah,
he
blah,
keeps
blah.
saying, "What if it falls out?" Because he has the earbuds that have the cord on it, like the hard one.
Okay.
Those aren't going to fall off your
Right.
head. It's like a headband.
Yeah.
So he keeps saying, "Well, they might fall out." So, anyways,
But
we'll see.
those are molded though to your ear, right?
These ones are not. No,
Oh, okay.
they have. So they've got like that, kind of like if you stuffed a little foam one in your ear. That's what they have at the tip.
Oh, okay. So it does kind
So
of
that's what
form
goes
to
in
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But different sizes, so you could find the size that
Yeah,
fits
there is
in
different
his ear
sizes.
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys reminded me of a movie we just watched, and let's it's the season, so let's have this conversation over holiday movies. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I
We've talked
definitely
about
think
that.
it is.
Yeah.
I
Do you?
mean, it's Christmas time, so I don't
Yeah.
know that it's a Christmas movie.
Oh, there we go.
I watch it. I feel weird if I watch it during a regular time of the year and not Christmas time.
Yeah.
So it's a Christmas movie to me.
Oh,
And there's so many. So this is crazy, and I hate to admit this, and I'm putting her on blast, but Ashley had never seen Die Hard before.
Yeah.
And she's like a movie buff.
Yeah.
Like she
What?
really gets into it. You know, she has a top 10 list of this genre, top 10 list, and then within that top 10 she has a top 5. Like she really gets into movies, but she just never seen Die Hard. So anyway, we watched it over this holiday season. And I'm like, now you can partake in the conversation. You know,
yeah,
so-
exactly.
And so she had to dig into it, being a teacher and all. She's like, well, it is a Christmas movie, and there's so many Christmas overtones, and it opens up. The opening credits are to a Christmas song.
Yeah.
And the whole reason he's on the trip is to go visit his estranged wife for Christmas, right?
Okay.
And they're-
See, I don't
and they're-
remember all
And
that.
they're crashing a
but-
Christmas party.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a
that's
holiday.
true.
It's a
So
holiday party.
she's
yeah.
like, it is, but she goes, I get where the blowback is. It was released July 22nd, 1988 or 1987.
Yeah, why did they
something
do
like
that?
They really dropped the ball, but it kind of added fuel to the fire. That,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
it's not a Christmas movie. It was released in the summer of '88 or whenever it was.
Yeah.
87.
All right, turn me up a little bit
So-
still.
Now it's too low, huh? Oh, all right.
I
So
don't
you're
know.
getting a little bit
okay,
more.
it's better.
But so I'm square on. It's a Christmas movie, and I love the conversation. But
I like it. It's a good movie.
Was there a Die Hard 2?
Oh, there was plenty of that.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think there's like
Okay.
7 of them.
There is? Oh, I've only watched one, so.
I think a good one to watch. Die Hard 2 gets a lot of flack and whatever, but Die Hard 3, it's called Die Hard with a Vengeance. It has
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson in it. That's
maybe
a really
we have
good
seen
one.
that.
That's
So
a good
Ashley
one.
has to watch
Yeah.
6 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but what I was getting at is the earpieces. It reminds me of what was tabbed as this year's Die Hard. It's called Carry On, a Netflix original.
I saw it on there, but I haven't watched it.
They use different earpieces. In
Yeah,
that, so
yeah.
I won't spoil it for you.
One of our kids watched it and they said it was good. They said we need to watch it. But
I don't even know what
just
you're
haven't done it
talking
yet.
about.
I thought it was pretty good, but
I'll
then
definitely be checking it out.
I had to ask Ashley, well, which one's more far out? Like which one's more
Yeah.
could actually happen? Die Hard or Carry On? Like they're
Yeah.
movies, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
which one's more plausible here?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's funny. Good movies. So yeah, with it being holiday time, we're a couple days out of Christmas. This was Christmas week. One of the things that I had been keeping on my list of podcast potential topics, and it fits good for this time of year, was having a little chat about like kind of how you grew up and what you do today as far as like the food goes, and not just around the holidays, but just food in general. I mean, we do a lot of outdoors activities. We're doing all this hunting and fishing and all these things that we talk about, and part of that is preparing what we catch, what we shoot, what what we kill, what we bring home, and our own gardens and all the different things that we do in the outdoors. So I want to have a little bit of chat about how did you grow up and how is it today? How does it work? How are the meals prepped around your house? And what does it mean to you?
Right.
Like, what kind of memories do you have? You know what I mean? So I'd say let's start from maybe modern and we'll go back a little bit. I think I already know the answer to this question for you, but how does it work around your house today?
Well, we really get into it, and food's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And we always have a lot of venison, because we'll always have 1 or 2 deer in the freezer, and that's always a big part of it. Absolutely love it when Ashley digs into the freezer and pulls out something like a grouse or a pheasant, we recently had some walleye that we forgot about, and she's phenomenal. She's such a good cook. And last Christmas, we got a Traeger.
Nice. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah, so we started messing with that a little bit, and that's added another layer to it. And I even found I think Traeger put it out, a video on YouTube. She bought a bunch of chickens, and I don't know what it's called, where you saw it halfway in half and open it up.
It's called spatchcocking.
There it is. I did that.
What?
And she's like, oh my God, this is so good. You did that? She goes, I've been thinking about doing that. You actually did it. I'm like, I don't know. I watched a 5-minute video and just did what it told me to do and didn't screw it up.
Was it good?
It was excellent. It was really good. I overdid it with the butter. I'm like, you can't have too much butter.
Right.
Just do
Yeah.
it. Just do it,
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, Traegers, a lot of people call them cheaters, and I totally get it, but I love it. I mean, I love the smoky flavor. I love smoking stuff, but just let me hit 2 buttons and say go.
We could have a whole episode on barbecue. We probably will someday. I'll write that down. But myself personally, I'm a barbecue. I'd call myself a purist.
Right.
Where I like
exactly.
I like the old school wood fired, manning the fire, manning the cooker, whatever. But I have a respect for pellet grills, and I think they have their place. They do a good job.
They let me play the game.
Yeah.
We have a big green egg too, and that sucker, if you aren't just sitting on it, it'll get out of hand in a hurry. There's been multiple times where I have the damn thing going just right, and there's a ring at the door. No kidding. So I'll go answer this, and then I'll come back, and it went from being 250 degrees to 750 degrees.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
You know, and there you go. And there's your 8-hour down the drain
ruined
in 5 minutes.
Which is part of the reason for me, and we won't get into too much barbecue, but it's part of the reason for me why it is a little different, because it does require that kind of
your attention,
and understanding. But the pellet grills, man, I've only ever personally cooked on one. We went up to Minnesota and visited Zach and his family, the millennial farmer.
Yeah.
And he had a sponsorship deal with Traeger. And he had the big dog. I don't even know what they call this thing, but it is a freaking monster.
Wow.
So we were like, well, we were going to this concert event or whatever. I was like, well, let's throw some pork shoulders on, because these things, I can run this from my phone remotely.
Exactly, yeah.
It was the first time they had ever used it. So we fired the thing up. We put, rub the pork, put it on there, whatever. We go to the event. I'm watching it on my phone. I'm watching temperatures, controlling it, whatever. We get back. It needed a couple more hours. Things finished up. Everyone was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't freaking do anything except push these buttons.
Right? Yeah, it just it does it for you, man. Yeah, like I said, it lets me play the game.
Yeah.
And it does feel like cheating. Your cell phone's just doing it.
Yeah.
That reminds me, because Ashley did get that app, and I started messing with it. I started cooking, and she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because you'll send her notifications
Yeah.
on her phone.
The only because it starts telling her that you have it on.
Yeah. It's like, why are you? She even said something like, 270, is that a little too high for chicken? I'm like, I'm watching the video. I'm just doing what the video tells me.
That's literally like what Ben did to Zach, because he had used it then a few weeks later and was getting notifications. And Ben was like, so what are you cooking?
Yeah, I was down here in Nebraska.
Yeah.
He's
He's
up
in Minnesota.
running his Traeger. Yeah,
pork
and I'm
shoulder.
getting messages about.
Zach, you might want to turn that down a little bit.
Yeah.
Dial that down. Low and slow, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
awesome.
for the holidays, though, you guys always do some kind of wild game. Like if are we talking just
I don't
holiday
know.
meals?
No,
or
we're
are you
just talking.
Oh, I thought we were talking about what we do for traditional Christmas meals.
Ashley's family really gets into it, and they're the ones that always play host, and that spread is unbelievable. So there's prime rib on the Big Green Egg, the smoker, every year. There's turkey. There's all sorts of oyster stuffing is a staple. Peach cobbler. Like, this layout's unbelievable. It's like going to a casino or something.
Oyster stuffing? I've never heard of that.
It's if you like oysters, if you like that flavor, it's pretty good.
We had some oysters last night.
Yeah. But,
But I guess that's the biggest like tradition.
Okay.
And now with Ashley and I, like, I don't know. Yeah, there's always an outdoor element to it.
Okay.
But
So when you guys go to her family's and that big meal, like, how does that all come together? Like, how is that?
Ashley has to get up before the sun gets up and get out there and start helping.
So she goes there long before you do.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And our nephew Zach, he's part of it now, and then the in-laws, they're in charge of things like the deviled eggs. This is a production. I mean, this is crazy.
So you've got probably I don't know, 6 people cooking.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
Getting this stuff ready.
Yep.
They all go to the place before everybody else shows up. So it's not just the family that lives in that house.
No, yeah,
that's
people
crazy.
coming in.
Yeah, it's quite the
I
deal.
mean, you hear about that, but I didn't know.
Oh yeah, and then the atrium, the little welcoming area, and the tables are getting folded out, and it looks like it's a production. It looks like a all-you-can-eat buffet,
Yeah.
at a casino
And
or something.
everything's just awesome. Like,
so good.
You have to have some of everything.
Yep.
So at this point, it would be weird if they didn't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's like not even a question now. It's just like it's happening, and everybody knows their post, knows their place. Like, you need to get here at a certain time. The Big Green Egg, and it's the big one. The size of this table.
Yep. So whose house is it?
Ashley's parents.
So what do you think if, like, at some point they're going to pass? Do you think that tradition would carry on?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you would have to host it.
Yeah, I can't even envision anybody trying to take that on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have to be us. It would have to be Ashley, because she's like the main cook now that's putting it on. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm as welcoming to bring in 25 people.
Right.
I don't think they want to be with me either. You know? So I don't know.
I think all that's changed. And the reason I asked that question is, it was very similar for me, what you're explaining there, when I was growing up when I was a kid. And it was Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Right, yep.
And it was the same kind of thing. I mean, they'd cook all day. My grandma had 4 daughters. If they lived here, they were there. Neighbors might have been over there, whatever. Yep. They're all prepping. They're all getting everything ready. She was baking things for the whole week prior.
Yeah.
Like, they would have a table twice the size of our podcast table here that was covered in nothing but cookies. Like, different
those are just like cookies.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like insane.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So they would go full on like that, like you're talking about. And I didn't realize as a kid, like, how good we had it.
Right.
That was just normal.
Yeah.
But then once Grandma and Grandpa quit doing that, and they passed on, and they no longer could for a while, for physical reasons and whatever. People moved, whatever. It never got it went away.
Sure.
It never came back.
Yep. Yeah, and you're right. So Ashley's mom, her 2 sisters come in from like the McCook area. Her brother comes in from Kearney, and then the other brother, Mike, McCook, Kearney, I don't know where, but they all come in. Everybody comes in, and it's just it's like a beacon, I guess, a holiday beacon. Everyone comes to.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the typical the Christmas Vacation movie.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. I suppose it is going to be up to Ashley and I to pick up the torch and run with it.
And your kids will be older at that point, so maybe they would be able to help or want to help, or you never know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Running around throwing potatoes at the wall and shit.
No, they're not going to be young forever.
Yeah, they're pretty wild right now. I don't know.
It does seem weird to think about,
Yeah.
just the traditions changing. But so then that almost went away.
Yeah. So where are you guys at now?
Like with that side of the family, then, you start having your kids have kids. So then everyone has their own Christmases, and things just start changing. And I think what I've found is some people, I would say my mom too, has a hard time with change. So like,
oh, sure.
You know, she really wants a certain day and a time, and she wants to be flexible because she wants people to be there, but she's, you know, guarded. And I think that becomes harder, you know, with age. So I'm hoping people listening resonate with this, because I've heard this is not just exclusive to us.
I feel like, well, and obviously Andy and his family's making it happen nowadays, but I feel like in the older days, it was just known, like, you're going to grandma's. This is how it's going to work. This is what we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what else is going on. You know, you can try to work some things in around that, but this is when it's going to be every single year at grandma's, and that's what you do.
Yeah, buck up and talk to your in-laws.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And you guys are still doing that. You're still carrying that on, which is cool. For us, over the years, I feel like, you know, every few years something changes a little bit. Like, okay, now there's this year, and now there's this year, and it's
so-and-so moved to Baltimore, whatever.
Yeah, and it all has to do with personal things. Like you said, someone moved, someone got divorced, someone died, you know, whatever. And so everything, you know, continues to change, and it's not that tradition doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that we don't have fun. I mean, we still do. Like, you go and you have your events, everyone hangs out, you have good food, you know, you do all your things or whatever, but it's not like I don't think we've created for our kids the kind of memories that I have of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, that we did the same things every year.
I don't know if that's true, because I feel like as a mom, I was super guarded and wanted to make sure that we were going to be at home for Christmas morning. Like, I don't care
we've done
where
that one thing every single year for
right,
sure.
And the
we've
kids
done
have
that.
talked about that. Like, we're going to wake up and not rush to go somewhere, because my childhood, that's what we had to do. We had to rush to go to my grandma's. So Santa came on Christmas Eve.
And see, that was also that was something that I think
I feel like
early
we've
on
done that.
when our kids were younger and we were younger, that I said, that's what we're going to do.
And so we've still done that.
Right.
And you've done the same thing
they're
throughout.
23 and they come home and they're still coming Christmas morning. Now, when they have their own families, I understand that
they're
probably
not gonna,
will, you know,
that's
that will change.
That's the way it always was for me growing up, was it was Christmas. You had Christmas morning at your house.
Yeah,
Like,
but
Santa
you're
comes.
saying you didn't, because Ashley had to leave super early.
Yeah.
Or is this Christmas Eve?
That was Thanksgiving. That
you
was
did that big
Thanksgiving
meal.
production, yeah. Christmas, we're pretty gosh darn flexible, which my family was always so flexible. Like, we've had Christmas in South Dakota at a ski resort. Like, my family, my personal family growing up, we always did something different. Like, we weren't tied to one thing. So, like, I don't want to say tradition didn't matter, because it does, you know, but we're
as long as you were together, you could still have.
We'd spend a Thanksgiving here, spend it there. A lot of times we did kind of have a tradition where we'd go to Omaha to be with my uncle, and they would put something on, and we'd always go to a movie that night. So, but no, you know, personally, we didn't. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Like, we never really had a tradition or anything like that growing up.
Right.
So. But and Ashley's on the opposite end, where it was the same thing, same place.
Very specific,
yeah. So I don't know.
And we've even, and this is on her side of the family, had decided a few years ago that Christmas Eve we're going to go out to eat. And so that's happened for how many years now?
Gosh, I don't know, 6, 7 years.
Yeah,
they always go to Kobe's.
Yeah, okay, so
and the kids
that's cool.
love it.
Yeah, that's fun.
So that's something that's very,
I would say
very
he doesn't
new
love it.
to me in my realm. Having a restaurant prepare you a meal for a holiday is very strange for me.
Well, so that is the tradition that I would say Ashley and I have started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where Christmas Eve we go out and have either sushi or Chinese food. We'll go to so it's something completely off the wall. You know, we just had a big Thanksgiving turkey dinner, mashed potatoes, all that, and then we're gearing up to have another round of that for Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fun curveball, something different.
Mix it up a little
You
bit.
like the food and you like going. Your hiccup is something. Haven't you said this? Why are people having to work
The
on
food- the
Christmas
food
Eve?
is- the
I don't
food
want
is-
someone to work for me.
The food is fine. Yeah, I think because of us as consumers creating that demand, then we're requiring people to have to work on Christmas Eve.
And you think they should be off?
Yeah, I definitely think they should be off.
Yeah.
So we're supporting that. So he doesn't like that.
It's capitalism, you know.
It's 100% capitalism,
Yeah.
and you guys know how I feel about money, so it's pretty clear where my stance would be on that.
And maybe we're sidestepping a little bit because we're always going to, Chinese restaurants or sushi places, so like, I don't know, do they really give a darn about an American Christmas?
And I thought about that.
True.
I literally thought about that because it's Kobe Steakhouse, that we go to, but this is nothing more than
Sure.
there's 5 of these in every city.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah,
it's a hibachi
It's a
grill.
chain. Yeah.
The dude's just cooking in front of you. He's doing fancy
And
things.
both
He's
of our guys were white.
throwing shrimp at your face.
One big table.
This is where I'm going.
Okay.
So, it's supposedly Japanese food.
Right.
The dude cooking for us is literally like a 23-year-old white guy who's trying to make his way through college.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he told us.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out how to make myself feel better about this. Like we're
You're putting them through school.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Like we're helping you get a paycheck so that because he said he was actually, I think he was trying to save it for grad school. So
He was older than that, but
he was, okay, you're getting some money. Okay. I guess, whatever. But
Yeah, I think you're spinning your wheels a little too much there. When I worked for the vault company, a lot of guys would fight over Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Day to
Work in there.
to
Why?
work.
You get time and a half?
Yeah, you'd get time and a half, and it would go straight to overtime, all sorts of things. So like that was like a prized thing, and you'd always get the day before or the day after off completely, but you'd get to work the day of and double your money. So I don't know. I don't know. If they don't have a problem with it, I don't.
I don't know if the Chinese steakhouse is paying time and a half on Christmas
That's
Eve.
true.
But,
That's true.
You
The
never
Japanese
know.
steakhouse.
But you loved your drink. Just saying.
at
at the bar.
So, did they do the thing where it was like a little smoke deal?
yeah.
Yes.
That drives me freaking insane.
I don't understand.
I get
what's
hung
the
up
point
on
of it?
So why they throw the onion away when it's a
And
perfectly
it's at
good
the
onion?
end?
I'm not.
I don't get it.
I'm getting too much into the weeds here, but we'd always have every time I've been to Kobe, it was a Japanese fellow working the hibachi, the knives and all that stuff. And you go, oh, Pony Express, choo choo, Pony Express.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not a train then. It's a horse. The Pony,
Pony
Express is a horse. It's not a train.
That's right. Yeah.
I've never said anything to anybody until right now. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm like,
Okay.
That's funny.
I never thought of that, but I always don't understand why they wait till the end. It makes no sense. Like, use it
Yeah.
and cut up the onion and serve it to us. Like,
Yeah.
do the choo choo. And, like, why are we throwing this away?
That's where my catch is on it. And that's what I said earlier when you said that is
The way
he takes
onion.
a very nice onion and stacks it all up, and then he just moves it over to where the hole is and just
throws it down
shoves
the
it down the
chute.
hole. Yeah.
You know what?
We're just
Haley-
shit on Kobe. It's actually a really nice place.
It is nice, yeah.
But you know what Haley said, speaking of that they used vodka to clean the table, and she said it's Barton's, which she's like, and we drink that in college.
I heard her say that.
the plastic bottle.
Yeah, that's what they spray
Wow.
at the
I
end.
think
and
I
then
think they
scrape
just
it
reuse
down.
the bottles. There's no way they're pouring vodka every single
The
time.
guy at
on
our
those.
table said vodka too, but he didn't tell us the kind. And so Haley said she asked, and he said Barton's, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, I drink that."
There could be a little bit in there, but they're not pouring straight vodka on that.
You don't think?
grill top? No.
Vodka and water?
Number one, you would smell it, but number two, like what a waste. I mean, they're
just like the
Barton's
onion.
is-
and I know it's not.
Exactly.
I know it's not good vodka, but like that's maybe they mix it in a little bit. Maybe there's some cleaning properties in it. I'm sure there's it's alcohol. There's cleaning properties in
Yeah.
it, but
It just
Yeah.
made me laugh.
It does sound like a play, like, oh, we're so cool, we use vodka.
yeah.
Oh,
we're
okay.
we're sanitizing these grill tops.
But then, don't pick
Yeah.
Barton's if you're gonna go that
Yeah.
route.
Yeah, exactly.
So what about in general, we've talked a little bit about the holiday cooking and things like that, but one of the things I wanted to tackle was just kind of meals and cooking in general. And you kind of talked a little bit about that, and that's where your where your holiday meals come from. But what happens at home today, and how did that come about? Like basically, let's get into what is the American way of doing meals, or the common folk way, I guess, of doing meals.
Well, I'm really excited about what I see happening right now, and it's that people are taking notice and thinking twice about what they're putting into their bodies. And it's become more than just open a box, add water, put it on the stove. I didn't have a bad childhood at all. I had a great childhood, but we had a lot of that growing up.
Yeah, I think that was par for the course at that time.
And it was advertised and pushed out there that this is you're a working family. You need to save your time. Hey, save time to be with your family. Just buy this stovetop stuffing and make it quick, right?
Yep.
And it was also advertised as healthy, which we're finding more and more out that that's not the case at all.
Things like Hamburger Helper.
Right.
Oh my gosh, man, I used to love that shit.
I still do. That's one of the things I can cook even.
We have
but
not.
we make it ourselves.
But we've not had
the
it.
box.
But like, and you feel like you're doing something. Like they designed it in a way where you feel like you're actually making a meal.
Yeah.
Like you got to brown the hamburger first, or maybe it's a chicken one or whatever.
Sure.
You got to boil the noodles, and you put all the things together, and then you got to simmer it and watch it.
Oh my
and
gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it makes you think like you're actually doing something.
Like
But
you're cooking.
it is a boxed meal.
Yeah.
But it's very tasty.
Well, and I mean, if we make that or something like that, we're using what Ashley calls a burger. It's basically, it's
Yeah.
and we don't do straight deer burger. You guys been over when we did that. We'll throw a pork shoulder in there or something to give it a fat content and to make it just way more tasty as well. So it's also healthier on that front in that it's very lean and it's a different type of burger. It's like a lot of venison. So.
Well, like you said, I mean, when we were younger, it was a lot of that. It was a lot of Hamburger Helpers. It was a lot of, the Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Hungry Man TV dinners.
TV dinners,
Shit.
man, like left and right.
Yeah.
Man, we ate a lot of those.
Throw that in the microwave. Watch that weird thing bubble up, and then go back down.
God, that's like poisoning.
The brownie or whatever
itself.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus
Like
Christ.
it's kind of a brownie. I'm not sure.
Yeah, what is that? I ate it. Still liked it.
What always blew me away about TV dinners is that like everyone said they're so high in sodium. I didn't understand that when I was younger, but as I got older, I'm like, oh, okay, so that means there's a lot of salt. But I used to have to salt the shit out of those things.
To give it a little flavor.
Yeah, so how were they so high in salt? But
right?
I had to load them with that.
Put more on top.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I think the biggest hurdle, and we've touched on it before with fake hamburger, is that people like, it was tried as advertised as being the healthy option, because red meat's bad and fat and this and that. And then you look into, what's in this fake burger? And yeah, it's chickpeas and this other shit, soy, but it's a lot of sodium, like off the scales sodium. So you're further ahead if you give a darn about your health and your body and whatever, to just eat whatever hamburger is at your local grocery store.
So you guys at your house today, I mean, you're not doing a lot of TV dinners and things like that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, our last really good meal, which Ashley always whips something up. She's so good at it. What do you call this part of the deer right here?
The shank?
No, yeah, the bottom shanks of the front. We had her dough.
Okay.
I remember her talking about that.
Yeah, and so we had just had time. We got it all cleaned, and then it hung there for like another 5 or 6 days. We had stuff go up, but there was still the hide was over those shanks, and she's like, well, do we just throw the thing away? And I'm like, no. It was cold enough, and it was insulated and all this other stuff. So I went ahead and cleaned it and got all that shank meat off of her neck area and then her front 2 legs. And she made some type of a stir fry with that. Oh my God, it was
Wasn't
so
she
good.
talking about, and I don't know if that's what this is, but I just remember the word because it was an interesting word. It was like asabuco or something like that.
She hasn't done that.
Oh, that's a different one?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's different. Yeah, that's with the Maro. But
okay.
Yeah, she's done that before, and it's really good.
Okay.
But that's with big.
I got
big
it confused on something different.
Yeah. But so yeah, my traditions have totally flipped. Where we're very conscious and trying to be healthy and this and that, but it's also I don't know, plays into why you want to spend time outdoors. You know, you're going to put in the effort to do all those things.
Yeah.
You know, let's enjoy it. You know,
There's so many interesting things like that going on in everyday households. And I don't know if she does this, but, you know, having the internet and YouTube and all these different cooking shows and things like that have like given a lot of us the confidence to try
open your eyes up to it. Yeah. I mean, that's all Ashley's Instagram reel is people cooking stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I feel like a lot of that was advertised as like, well, that's unattainable. You don't have 600 acres. I don't have a gun dog. It's also opened people's eyes to like, oh, I can go on public ground. I can go duck hunting. I can go goose hunting. I can get a turkey tag, whatever. You know, so like if you want to get into that world, it's a lot more attainable than what you might think.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need all these things.
And as far as wild game goes, like a show like Meat Eater, I mean, if you pay much attention to that and you see how he puts everything to use, he does part of his show as not just the hunt, but then the preparation and what the meal's like.
Well, that's kind of the show mostly, you know. Yeah. And I love how he simplifies it. Like, and Steve Rinella, who we're talking about, like his favorite food is burger. You know, like he does all these crazy things, you know, fillets and this and that, and nope, just burger, whatever, you know, just throw it in the grinder.
And it's interesting where you see families like that, and I know more and more people that are doing that all they eat is wild game.
Yeah.
And that's how he is.
I mean, if you shoot an elk, you're set for a full year.
Yeah.
You know, your prototypical family, you know, you're going to have
you probably should
a lot
eat it.
of meat.
Yeah.
And that's probably, you know, that's some of the most healthiest meat on the planet. Eating elk, you know.
We've talked about this before. I mean, we talked about this a couple episodes ago when we were talking about harvesting deer and stuff. I do believe, and I've thought a lot about this since we talked about it, if you're involved in bringing in your own meat and you're doing the whole processing and all that kind of stuff, I think you actually eat less of it.
You definitely take your time and enjoy it more.
Yeah.
And that would probably lead to eating less.
It's like less of a commodity.
Right.
It's more of like a treasured thing.
Well, if you buy a Whopper at Burger King, you're just shoveling it down your throat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a necessity thing. I've even tried to, like, you know, I have little kids, and when I get lazy or up against it or whatever, we'll go to Burger King, right? You know, here in town. And I'm trying to position that as like, that's a treat.
Right.
That's not real food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's that. But it's chicken nuggets.
that's
but
what they call it.
you know, you notice how
It's
it's
not
kind
Bob's
of
chicken nuggets.
Yeah, you notice how that chicken's kind of like spongy and it's not really in the shape of a chicken.
Right.
And, you know, so I don't know. I'm not talking down on. I know we have those dino nuggies in our freezer right now. You know, so like we're not above and beyond it at all. But I'm trying to at least instill the fact that look, this is more of a candy type of a meat, not real meat. You know?
I've got a buddy who actually was on on our podcast, Dan. I can't remember what we talked about when he was here.
We're supposed to name drop him.
No, we talked to him. We specifically had him on. We did an interview with him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Either way, that was kind of how he grew up, you know, like with the kind of this almost kind of junk food, you know, mentality, quick meals, whatever.
Yeah.
And even today, like that's the joke that we always talk to him about is that the dino nuggies. Like he just freaking loves the dino nuggies.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
But he's even just being in this group of guys, you know, over the last few years and how much cooking and talking we do about it. He's starting to do that. So he's learning how to cook his steaks and how to do his, you know, his flank meat and so on and so forth. And it's neat to see him, you know, figuring all that out.
Yeah. And you also got to be more careful, so much more careful with wild game. You could really screw it up very fast.
Absolutely.
You know, so, and that also makes it more fun. Like, okay, well, we better wrap this brisket in 2 layers of bacon. You know, so, and like I said, I always throw another stick of butter in there too. So,
how much of the cooking at the house do you do compared to Ashley?
We've talked about
Very
this.
little, yeah.
He doesn't cook that much like I don't. Cook.
Yeah, like Ashley doesn't even want me in the kitchen, you know, and I'm fine with that.
Just every now
great.
and then, like you said, you'll run the Traeger or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, and that's fun. I do enjoy it. You know,
So you're the babysitter.
yeah. Like, you know, during the summertime when the pool's open and the kids have all their friends over and all that crap, and Ashley's entertaining and has her girlfriends and teacher friends over, I will run the grill, and I got brats and burgers going out all day, every day. So I can do that. That's me, you know. But that is your prototypical guy.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
on a grill, you know.
Your guys' scenario is more traditional, you know, to what like folks are used to hearing.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like she's taking on the heavy
cooking.
lifting as far as the cooking goes.
Yeah.
And then you're filling in when it's grill time, when it's pool time, you know, when it's whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she even had a student they're just kind of looking at our relationship, and they said, you know, geez, you do all the cooking and cleaning. He does all the mowing and lifting heavy things and fixing this and fixing that. And he's always off at work. And you guys are like out of the 1950s, you know, just how you're just like filling these stereotypical roles. And she said, yeah, and we love it. And he goes, you know what? I want to meet a girl like you guys, you know?
Oh, that's funny.
So it's like, yeah, it's coming back, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
It's an interesting thing. Cooking is an interesting thing. That's why one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it. I know so many people nowadays where I feel like the husband or the boyfriend or the dad or whatever is doing so much more of the cooking.
For sure.
And I've thought about it. I've tried to wrap my head around why, and I haven't quite figured it out yet.
I know why, and I feel like I'm having deja vu, or we literally have talked about this because I stayed at home and already did it. I did it constantly, and the kids are little, and they're barking at you, and they're constantly hungry, and you got to make food. You finish a meal, and they're still hungry. And
You're
like,
over it?
Oh, my gosh. Yes, there's so many moms that are like, if you say food one more mother time, I'm going to slap you in the face with the food.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
It gets
that's
so
not,
annoying.
That's not across the board. Like
That is a lot of moms. If only people would be dialing in or calling my show right now and telling me. I have heard this so many times. So I feel like moms get sick of it. I'm not saying maybe that's why then now the dads take over, but it's really nice to tap out and then have the dads do it now. Like have you do it. Like I'm over it.
Okay.
And I've never enjoyed it. And everyone knows that. Like it's just always been like something I needed to do.
Right.
Because I stayed at home for a while. You got to do this. Like that's part of the gig. I can do it. But he enjoys it, so let's just like
play into that.
Lean into that.
It. Yeah.
You don't think that's true?
I think Ben's going with more of an angle like it's a cultural kind of a shift where if you want to be a man, you got to know how to make a steak and you got to serve your woman. Like when she comes over, you got to have fucking pasta and this and that.
What?
And like, oh yeah.
Oh, I
the
don't
modern
think
day
that.
man. The modern day man is something. It's something, you know. And I fall so short. What's going on there?
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I think that like the expectations are the roles, the gender roles and things like that are all, you know, kind of a little bit in flux, and people are just figuring out where to go.
And that's where I was going with the food, and people are waking up to this stuff. Like it's okay that I lift heavy things and Ashley cooks. Like it's okay. You know, and oh my God, it's worked for centuries. It's okay, you know. And she enjoys cooking, and I enjoy doing that work. You know, I've started getting back into woodworking a little bit, and I just love it. I love the smell of when you're sanding something or when you're cutting into, you know, like this table here, you know. And it's so simple. Like, look at this. This is just a few boards kind of put together, but it's beautiful. You know?
Well, and I think that's the thing with cooking for me, and like the stuff that I like to do, like you said, if it's woodworking or whatever, for me, it might be like, you know, automotive repair or home improvement or something like that. Like you go and you do those things, and there's all these steps that you need to do, and you need to do all these steps in a specific order, and each one of them has to be done right. And then in the end, you have a finished product, and you can step back and be like, got it. That works now. You know, that's fixed.
Figured
There's that
it out.
satisfaction, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of the process with cooking. And for me, when I said I've been trying to figure out why are so many more men getting into this and doing this, I think one of the things that I'm onto in my mind is that.
Yeah.
Because it is that process.
Sure.
You have to have all of these things that you need to do. And if you do them all properly, you end with this really cool finished product
Yeah.
that provides a lot of satisfaction. Visually, all your senses, your
Yeah.
taste, your smells,
But
all
if
the
you
things
don't,
And you get to share it with people too.
right?
That's
And
pretty
so then
fun.
you get the satisfaction of that someone else gets to enjoy what
yeah, see,
you
that,
have put
that
together.
seems so stressful to me.
But I think
my gosh.
I do think there's a huge role in it of this bachelor culture, and so like men are kind of having to, and also for a man to expect a woman to cook for him, all these things are just red flags and rah, 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 that's toxic masculinity, all this shit.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a big element of that that's getting rolled into it. You know,
and I feel like so then what does that mean for us? Like there's a lot of gender roles that are
you're like
very
that-
true
you're like,
at our house. Like I do laundry, I do the cleaning, you do the
But that's
there's that, but it's like, what
I feel
does
like
that
that
even
was under
mean
attack.
then?
I feel like that was under attack for so long, and now it's starting to come back around.
Yeah.
Like shut up,
But I don't, and again,
you
like to
shouldn't- you
Ashley's
shouldn't
point,
feel
I don't
offended.
mind.
You shouldn't feel offended that you do the laundry.
No,
And
absolutely not.
I shouldn't feel offended that I changed the motor oil. Like yeah, okay, call me a lughead or whatever, gearhead. You
right.
know,
But there are times like I do feel a little bit bad that I don't cook, but I mean, I probably do once a week. Like I made a meal for everybody just recently.
You don't need
like
to-
you did
you don't-
absolutely nothing.
you don't
and
need to
that's-
measure up to anybody.
No, I know,
If
but
you guys are good, you're good.
Yeah, but I feel like to your point when you're saying why are the guys doing this now? I don't know. Does that then make the wife lazy
You
for
don't
not
cook,
doing it?
You don't clean.
You know what I mean?
No, it's a status symbol too. Like what's that? Megan Thee Stallion. We always talk about. I don't cook. I don't clean. Like it's so
Yeah.
weird that, and that's where you're seeing a lot of rebellion from the younger generation of men. It's like, okay, so I got to learn how to cook. I got to serve you, but then I also got to take out the trash. I got to do. So like, I'm not giving up any of my responsibilities, but I also got to take on yours too. And so like. Everyone. I feel like everyone's kind of waking up to this, and then it also leaves the young woman in a spot where it's like, okay, so what am I doing? What is my purpose here?
Yeah.
So now you're stripping her of all of her duties and responsibilities and self-worth, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's just not healthy. Like, and I don't care. I don't care if he's the cooking. I don't care. Whatever works for you. And that's where I'm going with this. I think it's really cool to see this shift, and you're seeing it bleed over into all these different areas where men are cooking, and I'm cool with it. Women are learning how to be plumbers, and I'm cool with it. Whatever works for you, you know.
And the dynamics of the family.
Yeah.
And I think things shift as we now have older kids, right? Like we've talked about that in different changes. So things might change a little bit too with you guys. I mean, who knows?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe
as far as traditions go, I think those are coming back too. You know, where maybe it got suspended there a little bit. I just felt like there was kind of a war on all that stuff, the traditional stuff from the 80s, 90s up into the 2000s.
Yeah.
It just felt like toxic masculinity and all this crap. But I feel like everything's kind of coming back around. And like, I don't know, people are waking up, Mike Rowe, whatever, dirty jobs. Dirty jobs are glorified again. And I think they should be.
Yeah. When I think with, the audience that we speak to, the common folk, that toxic masculinity thing and all that stuff has always been bullshit to all of us anyway. Like we're hearing it in the news and we're just like, that's ridiculous. That's not how it works in our house.
But it's a thing.
It's a thing for a lot of folks, but I do think that it might be more of a just a newsworthy kind of thing, like where it's talked about more than it actually goes on.
Sure.
And that was really, again, one of the driving factors behind starting this podcast and calling it Common Folk is that the silent majority does not believe 3/4 of the shit that we hear in mainstream media. That's not how we live our lives. So when they're talking all this trash about, men, oh my gosh, they're so bad. They do this, they do that, whatever. Like most of the people who are listening to our podcast are like, no, that's what I want them to do.
Yeah.
Like that's how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's all good. I don't know. Growing up, I never had a hardcore tradition that we always fall back on. We were always so flexible. I guess that's our tradition. Is my family was always, we're going to go to Omaha for Thanksgiving. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to Spearfish, South Dakota for Thanksgiving. Okay. So
right.
But now with, my family and everything else, I do wish we had a few more set things.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I always thought it'd be so cool to like have a Thanksgiving Day pheasant hunt. Like every morning, me and Ozzy, we get up and we go on our pheasant hunt. But man, so many things have to line up for that. And then and it just wouldn't work because Ashley would want to go hunting and I would want her to go hunting, but she can't. She's got to be in the kitchen by 6 a.m.
And then that's another one. Like that's another gender role thing that's kind of changed is the amount of women hunting.
Yeah, and it's good.
I think it was. I was on the radio. It might have been yesterday. I was going to dig into this for another podcast topic, but I think they said something like, I can't remember if it was 20% or 40%. I want to say 40% of the hunting licenses sold were to women.
That's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, I think it was like in the
That's
20s.
what they were saying. They went back to it, and it was like like whatever number they were using from previously. I don't remember what the date was, but it was like 5%.
I was like in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, it probably would have been 5%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, even you guys, right? I mean, you've killed 200% more deer than Ben, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
she's feeding the family over here, filling the freezer.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way, on your latest buck.
Thank you.
Got
Thank you.
more than me even. I didn't get one this year at all. So,
Well, there's always next year, right?
right? Yeah.
Muzzleloader season?
Maybe
I don't
late
know.
season. Yeah. See
Yeah.
what happens.
So to bring this to a close, and I don't have an answer to this, I need to think about it. What is your favorite meal? You know anything off the top of your head?
Yeah. When Ashley makes deer steaks, the tenderloins, and she caramelizes onions, and she'll throw in a side of like baby carrots or fry something up like that in the pan, the saucer pan. You can't beat it. Like nobody argues with it. It is so good.
There's something about that.
It's unbelievable.
That tenderloin, that backstrap. Is it the backstrap? Are you talking about the backstrap, or are you talking about that hanging tender?
I'm talking more of just the tenderloins there.
Yeah.
But the backstraps too. She'll cut those into medallions, and you can't beat that either.
Yeah.
Those
Wow.
are so good.
Yeah.
So good how she does it.
That meat has like just a little bit different flavor.
Yep.
And it's not gamey, but
No.
it's very good.
And it's tender, and if
Yeah.
you do it right, you just oh my god. Even people like, she has a lot of teacher friends, liberal friends, so they lean more towards like tofu and shit like that. Some of them, it's like, no, just try this.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, all right. It's not a hard sell. Just try it. You're gonna like it.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story. One of my buddies who's has always been a big hunter. His his dad had always took him deer hunting, whatever. And we've all gotten more and more into cooking and preparing things certain ways and talking about the different cuts. And like you talk about that tenderloin, he was like, man, when I was a kid, he was like, we shot deer all the time. We butchered them. He was like, my dad never took those tenderloins out. And he was like, I can't believe it. Like now that I'm eating it,
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yep.
no, he waited for you to walk away and then he cut them out.
Oh,
and
that
then
could've been
he
too,
went
yeah.
and cooked them. Nobody's leaving those things in there.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but that's my dad and buddies and uncles, like the meat wasn't the big thing.
Yeah.
It was more about the experience and going hunting and being with your buddies, and then usually they'll just find a guy in town to give it to. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't grow up with that, and even fishing and pheasant hunting, like the meat was a secondary thought. Now it's kind of the forefront.
Yeah.
Like
It's kind of like you said, I think things are coming back around where it was like, our parents' generation, like before them, you would eat what you killed, you would put everything to work. Like my grandparents, like my grandfather, that was how he fed his family when they moved around in the military. They lived in Alaska and he'd go out and shoot a caribou, and feed the family for weeks, or whatever. And then our parents' generation, they started getting fed like these conveniences,
Right.
Like, no, just do it this way, like we talked about, like this is easy, like buy a pound of ground beef, do this, it's easy, blah
mac
blah
and
blah.
cheese in a box.
And also the woman started working
Yep.
in many cases,
Right.
so she's not home all the time, so they're doing all that. And now it's coming back around with our generation, back to that previous of putting everything to work,
Yeah.
using all of those parts You know,
it's
bringing
so-
in your own meat.
It's so healthy and it's rewarding. All the things we kind of talked about, it makes
Mm-hmm.
a lot of sense. And yeah, just I think the internet has a lot to do with it. We're talking about sharing cooking videos. Steve Ranilla's Meat Eater.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot of factors that are driving people in a really good, positive, back towards traditions. I guess
Right,
it's
yeah.
good. It's a really good. It's a fun time.
It's going to be really interesting to see what our kids do for meals after how they grew up, you know, because they grew up differently than I did and differently than you did. And I
Well,
don't
and
know.
even Joel, who's like oldest to youngest, has grown up a little bit differently. Like again, I was
Yeah.
cooking, not bad meals, but like
Right.
cooking. And then now Dad's doing more like what we have last night. We had oysters. We had tuna
Tuna
steaks.
yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
We had lamb. I mean, it was
bacon wrapped scallops.
like all this yummy stuff.
It was good.
Hey, our kids are
So-
spoiled, and that's good.
So
It's a good
yeah,
thing.
they are.
point is, like, even from our oldest to youngest is going to be a little bit different, but
Well,
it
it was
is
supposed to
interesting.
be that's not an every night meal. It was supposed to be our oldest last night at home
Okay.
for the holiday break.
Okay.
Then she's heading out, and there was a couple things that she wanted. So we
Yes,
made
yeah.
some
This
nice
isn't
stuff,
like
but,
an
yeah.
everyday occurrence, but
Along the lines of what we're getting at, though, real quick, I bet Joel really enjoyed. Did you guys cook up his turkey that he
Oh
shot?
yeah, yeah.
I bet he.
he has still said that is the best turkey he's ever
Yeah.
had.
Never,
we get
he'll
that a
never
lot.
forget that.
We get
Yeah.
that a lot too. Like we'll always take a wild turkey to Thanksgiving. There'll be a little plate of it, and people will pick at it and eat it. I'm like, what's going on with this? And it's like, that's a wild turkey. That's
Yeah.
why it's so good.
And when you go through that whole process of you hunted it, you killed it, you cleaned it, you prepped it, you brined
Yeah.
it, you were
Yeah.
there for the cooking process. I mean, from beginning to end, it's
Yeah,
I mean,
it just adds another element
Yeah,
to it.
for some-
The appreciation. Yeah, you take your time chewing it, eating it, enjoying it. Yeah, just it's all good things. It goes back to everything we was talking about. Like,
yeah.
everything's coming back around in a good way.
So, what's your favorite meal?
I don't know. I don't really have.
What?
I don't know.
You're offending Ben here. He's
No,
worked so
She's
hard.
like, I don't know. It's
no,
all
that's
kinda,
not true. You cook very, very well. I don't have like one. It's amazing. Like, I love your barbecue. I don't have like a favorite meal. I don't know. I mean, if someone's like, what do you want me to cook you in your last supper? You're dying tomorrow. I really don't know. Like, I'm pretty generic.
So you'd go like
Back
Papa
in the
John's,
day, I would
Papa
say,
John's
like-
double pepperoni or something.
No, I would probably.
Shakaroni.
Ben would always say, like, probably 10 years ago, I would always order fettuccine Alfredo or quesadillas, chicken quesadillas.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
And it's not, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite.
Okay.
I don't know. So I don't know.
Hmm.
What's yours?
I think, and I'm kind of on board with that. Where I don't know that I have like an absolute favorite. Like that would be my last meal. There are so many things that I like. I'd say from a cooking standpoint, it would definitely the process. My favorite process would be barbecue.
Yeah.
And manning that fire and running the smoker and so many different kinds of smoked meats. Whatever. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat. Whether it be a tri-tip or even a pork shoulder, a generic pork shoulder or a brisket or whatever it is. We smoked a prime rib, for Thanksgiving. That was neat. That was the first time we had done that. That was fun.
Yep.
But definitely, I'm definitely a meat eater. So
Yeah.
it'd have to have a meat element.
Well, what you're getting at is what I was trying to touch on with Joel. The process is a big part of it.
For sure.
So
Yep.
you're not only enjoying the meal itself, but all the lead up and everything you had to do
Yep.
to get to that point.
Yep.
So it all kind of feeds into itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say
Agreed.
that for sure.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, so I don't think we have anything else on food, do we? No. So to close it out, let's give a quick shout out to Barn Owl. That's barnowl.tech. So go there, check it out. If you want to get one of these cameras, these are surveillance cameras, game cameras, cellular connected, solar powered. If you go with that feature, so you don't have to worry about batteries. They've got great connection. They've got great signal. We've been using them for a couple of months here. Have been very good for our property here on, as I said, on surveillance. We've got it up on the road watching vehicles coming in and out. I've caught a ton of animals that we didn't know were
there's
up in
some
that
game
area
on
too.
that you could eat.
There was one of the biggest deer we saw this year was on that particular
that day
camera.
camera.
Yeah, that guy was awesome.
Yeah.
Where we don't actually hunt, of course. But if anybody's looking for something like that and you've been shopping those cameras, go to barnowl.tech, and if you use the code FARMFOCUSED, all one word, FOCUSED, you'll get 10% off. So they're extending that to our listeners. They've been cool to work with. They got really good quality stuff. So
They do. Out of Colorado, right?
yeah, veteran owned. Hope to have him on the podcast here before long.
Good deal.
We might have to travel out there though. We might have to make a trip.
Okay. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Tell us when.
Yeah.
Yep. And one of those companies, like we've said, that we're not going to talk about something that we haven't used and doesn't work and that we're not proud of. So that's one of those ones that falls in that arena. So
Yep.
yeah, I think that's about all we got, man. It's,
I guess we got to say Happy New Year too.
yeah, that's coming in the next few days, and it's time for the weekend. But we're still working. We still got a lot to do.
Yeah, I saw you guys' workload
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a little backlogged.
We're
but-
on our way up for my family Christmas now. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, fun.
So, yeah,
oh,
we're-
yeah. Talk about flexible. Your mom's just having it way after Christmas. Look at that.
Well, then that's one of 3 Christmases we got to.
Oh, my gosh.
We're almost halfway through the Christmases. here, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
good luck with that.
Nice.
Merry Christmas.
No, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
My brother's gonna be up there, and their kids, so it'll be
Oh,
fun.
cool.
It'll all be good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Heck yeah.
So, all
right.
right. Well, happy holidays, Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All the
Well,
things.
yeah, Kwanzaa. Yeah, all of it.
Yes.
You guys. There you go.
All of the above.
Next episode will be in
In- Oh, my
2025.
God. That's so weird to say.
Yep.
Season 4.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, we're on season 3
No,
right now.
no.
I think so.
What?
Maybe.
I thought we were
yeah.
on 2 right now. We're on 3.
I thought we were on season 3. Is it season 2?
I don't
I don't
know.
freaking
I
know
thought
what
we've been
season
doing
it
this.
We got a
Oh
lot of
my
episodes stacked up here.
This is crazy.
We should check that out and figure out what the number is.
All right, guys.
All right.
Peace.
We're going to
Later.
close it out.